Good evening and welcome to Terra Prime Live. I am E-Rock, standing in for Darth Anonymous and Darth Master Vornock, sorry. They had prior engagements and couldn't be here. And tonight's show is about the Learners in Exile experience. We have our Learners in Experience with us today. What do we got here? Sorry, it's very bright outside. All right, starting off here we have Thonalyn from River City Jedi. Hey.
Hello, hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Glad you could make it, man. And next here we have Frank Knight from the Golden Gate Jedi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, man, it's cool to really always cool to have you here. It's good to actually see and hear you this time.
There's a first time for everything.
Excellent. So hopefully not last. And of course, Master Lucian Kane is here as well. Thank you so much for making it. So glad to be here on the holiday, everybody. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's good to be here.
Cool. Okay. So, we have a nice laid-back show for the holidays here. They chose me. I'm in London, Ontario, Canada. I guess I kind of volunteered. We're going to go for the one who might have been most alert on the Friday after the 4th there. So, anyway, sorry. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Learners in Exile experience. It's something that you can sign up to TPLA with, and what it is, it's very similar to studying from home and watching their videos and going in a safe spot to work on it. As in safe spot as in spot you don't break something. Versus it's basically the next step beyond that. There's a Facebook group for us. We get extra challenges that aren't publicly distributed on Facebook, YouTube, and TPLA's website as well. And yeah, challenges, and we also sometimes get private videos as well, just advanced techniques from the videos that are publicly available. So yeah, if you're checking this out on Terra Prime's YouTube channel, there's tons of videos to go through. If you're just joining us for the first time here, you might want to just start right at the bottom and start working your way up. That's what I did, and that kind of, I'm an apprentice now. So just to briefly describe the apprentice procedure, what you do if you're interested and you have a few of the moves under the belt, first thing you need to do is head to Terra Prime Lightsaber Academy. Terra Prime Lightsaber Academy. Just the best way to find it is Google TPLA Lightsaber, and that'll take you right to their Google page. And then on the left-hand menu. At least it's not my cat. On the left-hand navigation menu, you'll find the LX Apprentice, and then there'll be instructions on what you'll need to do to get signed up. The neat thing about what TPLA does for us here, this is all open source. If you really want to improve and learn the techniques for using an LED lightsaber, you got to put the effort in. Master Anonymous and Master Vornock provide so many materials and good stuff for anybody. For example, my personal story is I'm a musician and a computer geek. I mean, what do I have to do with the martial arts behind these things? I don't know. I love Star Wars, and well, these things are generally inexpensive usually. So if you're gonna, I guess, put an investment in and buy a toy lightsaber you could put through a brick wall on a good day. Just kidding. Yeah, why not learn how to use it properly? And that's when I stumbled on TPLA, and it's just been an awesome road to learning. It's neat to be a student again. Pretty cool. So, anyway, that's my story. That's how I got hooked up with this. Just from having purchased an LED lightsaber, I went into the garage and okay, this is fun swinging it around like a fool, but how do I really use this thing? I want to actually kind of do this properly. With the apprenticeship program, the 7 forms of lightsaber are taught. that's generally what happens on the regular Friday shows. And uh, to enter the apprenticeship program, what you have to do is demonstrate the basics of sheet show, or Form 1, in a scheduled trial, which you will arrange with the masters to have done, whether it's a video, a live hangout like this. I don't know, there are many other options because as TPLA is based in Ann Arbor, Michigan, I'm in London, Ontario. San Francisco is represented. Oh, we're everywhere. We're global, actually. We have members in Germany. Gareth Saber. Yeah, there's and everybody else that's out there watching as well. I mean, we're all over the world. So it's kind of neat that the resources to learn this stuff are still there. And I don't know. I'd like to get some other guys. What do you think? How are the videos working for you?
I'll chime in here. The videos are super helpful for myself and the team that we have here. So I'll just kind of explain that for a second. From the start, up here in Winnipeg, we had 5 or 6 guys that would get together a lot, and we did a demo at Comic-Con in Winnipeg in November of last year. And right after that, we had a influx of people asking us how do they do this and how could they join and those types of things. So we spent a lot of time kind of thinking about how we can get other people involved. And as we were getting people involved, we realized that we needed to have I guess more of a curriculum, I guess, is the best way of describing it. So we went through.
Thanks, guys. Okay. Think we're alive? Yes, we are. Sorry, guys. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Sorry about the technical glitch there. We just got knocked offline. So we were right in the middle of David telling us about the group situation with River City Jedi, and you were talking basically about 4 or 5 guys, and that's when we got cut off.
Okay, so everybody can hear me, yeah? So we teach. We started. We did a demo at Comic-Con here in Winnipeg, and we got a large group of people right after the con asking us if they could come and teach, if we could teach them. We've even had people reach out to us and ask if we could teach their kids. And we're not quite prepped to be teaching kids at this point, but what we do is we every second Saturday we get together with this class and we teach them all the basics of the TPLA material. We've taught them now an introductory class to every form up to Form 5. We haven't done Form 4 or Form 5 yet. We have those coming up shortly. But we've gone over all of the sheet show material, and we've gone to the point where we're asking them to make their own Dulons and come up with them so that they can learn to practice and develop other ways to practice rather than just mimicry. And so that's where we are right now. And then we get together on our own time as well. I just actually had a session today with another one of the apprentices, Scott, and we did some full speed, full contact stuff with all our gear on, and it was good to get out to the park and just kind of wail away on each other, which is fun. But we also teach a lot, so that was kind of how we started here, and we just kind of progressed, and I don't foresee we're going to get any smaller at this point. So that's me. Who's next?
Cool. Thanks, man. Frank, how about
yeah, I'll go next.
Thanks, man.
Oh, 1 second while I figure out how to. Nope, that's all horrible. Well, forget the lower third. I'm Frank Knight. I'm one of the associate instructors of the San Francisco-based Golden Gate Knights. We've been doing this for a little over 2 years now, And when we started, we used the sabercombat.com system that Matthew Corrado from FX Sabers kind of developed. But since then, I found that Master Anonymous was posting all these wonderful videos of his interpretations of the 7 forms. So I started contacting him and started working in addition to the normal stuff that we do every day, or at least every week at the Golden Gate Knights. I've started also working on learning his interpretations of lightsaber combat, because I found a lot of them is more. We come from more of like a kendo background. My martial arts background, I have a black belt in Taekwondo, and I was trained in what in Korean is komdo, but it's Korean kendo. So kendo and staff-based weapons, and the Asian martial arts. And I noticed that where Darth Anonymous, his background is definitely inspired by like Chinese martial arts. Vornak has a very European martial arts style with like his broadsword kind of techniques. It was a really kind of something that I didn't have experience in. So I've been trying to learn a lot from them on the more of the Jujemso interpretations, the very hard forms. But what we do at the Golden Gate Knights is we meet every Sunday in the Soma district of San Francisco. We train for 4 hours, maybe 5 hours each week, and we go over kind of the basic targeting systems, and we work on stage combat and fight choreography. So we just got done producing a live show at the Oakland Temple that was set to a Star Wars musical medley. So a full orchestra played a medley of John Williams Star Wars music while we performed on stage a live lightsaber combat demonstration, kind of telling a little story of Jedi versus Sith to the music. And I'm packing up right now for next week because I'm heading down to San Diego Comic-Con. A bunch of us are going to perform with Saber Guild, which is based in the LA area at Comic-Con. We're going to do another live stage performance there.
Excellent, man.
How's that? That cover most of it?
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Wow, this rabbit hole goes a lot deeper than just doing it in your garage, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, it goes very weird. For some reason, I think since we're based in San Francisco, our group has gotten a lot of media coverage because we're just right in Lucasfilm's backyard. So last, I think it was February, maybe, the 4 instructors from the Golden Gate Knights got flown out to New York, and we performed on the Today Show. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Yeah, and there's also that the Vader Strikes series as well that going on with that. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was actually Alan Block, one of the co-founders of the Golden Gate Knights, was actually on talking to Anonymous a couple weeks back about the Vader's Vault videos, which they're working on with the Stump People, which is a more of a Asian martial arts movie stunt choreography group based in the Bay Area, and they're doing some pretty nice videos. I think they have 3 of them up right now, and there's a Kickstarter going trying to see if they can produce more.
Excellent. Cool, man. Thanks. And joining us after the catastrophe, looks like you got there just in time, Rick. Welcome to the show, man, and yeah, glad to have you here. So what we've just been discussing is basically I gave the general gist about where the LX Apprentice program comes from. So what we're just talking about is, could you maybe tell us a little bit about your maybe martial arts background, yay or nay? Just what got you into the sabering in the first place, and what brought you to the LX program?
Okay, thanks, guys. First of all, I gotta apologize for not arriving here on time. You'd be amazed how long those lines of dry fabrics are. Anyway, so let's see. My background, my core background is mainly in Japanese weapon arts. I belong to a classical weapons dojo back east. I'm currently in the Midwest now, and the dojo specializes in the short staff called Jo, and versus the sword. So we do a number of arts in the system. So that includes obviously the stick, the baton. So that's a tanjo. obviously the sword. So we do kenjutsu, a really, really, really old style of kenjutsu, and a more modern style of EI. The two kind of complement each other and go hand in hand. We also do some other more crazy stuff like kusarigama, so that's like sickle and chain. We also have something called a jite. It's kind of like the half of a sai. But it was mainly used by police to subdue people with swords and bladed weapons. So I've had the most extensive experience with that. I've also been doing a little bit of fencing. There's a school here in the city. They're doing actually just did their national tournament this week. So I'm doing epee mainly with those guys. I also do a little bit of bagwazang, so I kind of get and I'm very excited about the direction that Master Anonymous has been pulling with the more Chinese side of things in terms of the weapons. I'm also involved in the local HEMA group, so that's Historical European Martial Arts Group. So we do a little bit of German longsword. We do a little bit of rapier once in a while, arming sword, sword and buckler, stuff like that. So those are mainly my things I'm exposed to.
Wow. Yeah, I've been exposed to a bass trombone, so that's impressive, man. How do those skills do you think lend to your saber practice?
Well, I think a lot of the movement I've found, like for example, when I came in from a baguazhang standpoint and was starting to learn longsword, a lot of the footwork was very similar. Same thing with fencing. Like some of the leg work in baguazhang was actually, I was like, oh, that's the same thing in fencing. Like how do you advance, how do you lunge? Like those are all the same things, and also the things that I had trouble working on. So there are a lot of things that are just very common, throughout. I guess a lot of the basics are very common throughout, irrespective of whatever arts you practice. There's only so many ways you can efficiently move your body. So I guess even though I'm mainly dedicated towards the Japanese and Chinese side of things, weapons-wise, like I appreciate how many of these concepts are so universal. So a lot of these things apply to sabering, obviously.
Well, they're martial arts fundamentals rather than
right.
fundamentals or eskrima for that matter. I'm learning a lot of that myself. They're talking about what type of throw is that?
It's just throw.
What a newbie. Yes, I am. But yeah, I didn't know that there are basic throws in all martial arts, and yeah, it's not really just kind of specific. Obviously, there are flavors, but fundamentals.
Well, I found really interesting stuff. Like there was I don't remember which treatise we were going through, but there was some like grappling stuff in historical European manuals, and they were pretty much identical to what you would do in Aikido, for instance.
Yeah,
pretty
it doesn't
much
really
into the letter. So it's like, there's only so many ways you can efficiently move somebody.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A hip toss is a hip toss is a hip toss. It doesn't matter if you learned it in the Marines or in a wrestling class in high school or in a jiu-jitsu class. It's all the same body mechanics.
That's right.
Cool. And lastly but not leastly, of course, we have Lucien. I don't know, man. What got you into sabering?
Oh man, I have been.
Sorry, thanks.
Oh, no problem. I've been a huge fan of both Star Wars and martial arts for like my entire life. I didn't get to start doing martial arts until I was a little older. My parents, they wouldn't get me in classes until they were certain I was serious about it. And by the time I was a little older, like I'd been hounding them about it forever. So they finally let me start doing martial arts, and I started doing a style called Shorin Ryu, which is an Okinawan style of martial arts. It's an empty-handed fighting style. there's no sword, and I've always been really I've always been a huge fan of swords. So whenever Star Wars, whenever I saw Star Wars for the first time when I was like 6, I mean, I fell in love with the lightsaber. Um, and so for like I said, most of my life, I've had this, I've had this love for martial arts, had this love for swords, and I've had this love for lightsabers. Um, so I mean, in some form, uh, mostly primitive as I was a kid, I've always been doing some form of lightsaber combat, be it sticks in the backyard, PVC pipes, whatever I could find. I've always been swinging something around. Um, and when I joined the Marine Corps, I found the Master Replicas FX lightsabers, and just, oh man, I mean, it was over at that point. I always had one, and I would always break them, and I had no clue there was anything better out there. Um, and so I stumbled upon dualable lightsabers, and then I stumbled upon FX sabers, and I started getting more ingrained in the community, and I started I started showing videos of things that I was doing. I started showing sparring videos. I started showing all kinds of stuff that I was working on, and so I just it was always a natural transition for me for martial arts and Star Wars. It just seemed to go hand in hand. And when Chad, whenever Master Anonymous came onto the scene and started TLP Live and asked me if I wanted to be in it, be involved, I mean, of course, why not? This is a community that's based to bring the dueling community together, and so it's something that I was very excited to be a part of, if not just in name, but in contributions as well. So this is something really fun, and just amazing and special.
Excellent, man. Yeah, I fell in love with it. I thought, yeah, okay, I've always wanted a lightsaber. Got this thing, I was like, hey, got to do something with it. So, anyways, no, thanks everybody. So, I guess we're gonna get to the next part of the show. I don't know. Let's see. Do we have any? I think we do have. Somebody asked something on line here. Let's see. Corin Horn from Imperial Republic Armory asked if GGK. Somebody can help me out with that there.
That's Golden Knights. That's
Golden
us.
Knights, sorry. If Golden Gate Knights is more sparring based or more choreography based?
Yeah, so we're a choreography-based group. We don't officially do any sparring. It's hard for that never to occur when you have a bunch of guys and girls hanging around with lightsabers. Sometimes that does happen. But we're officially just a fight choreography group to do stage performances, mostly because our goal is to be licensed and approved by Lucasfilm. So we do not only just the martial arts aspect, but we also have like the costuming aspect for live performances and stuff, because Lucasfilm does not support anything sparring. So if we were to do sparring, then that just completely removes the possibility of us being an officially recognized entity from Lucasfilms, like the 501st, the Rebel Legion.
I had no idea about that. That's pretty cool. And he's also says the Kite, or maybe that was just the comment below that. But anyways, it's a nice cat. Cool. Any other comments or questions from the audience? I don't think so.
I have a question for you guys. Prior to joining the LX program, how has your views changed from that with respect to safety to after being in the LX program for a little bit?
I'll hop on that one to start with. I spent my life pretty much like Lucian. Anytime there was a stick handy, was pretty much get turned into a weapon of some form. I think the largest amount of time that I'd ever spent fighting was with a broken axe handle. We like sawed off the shattered part, so that it was just, because axe handles are great. They have a nice little curve to them. You can hold on to them. They're designed to be held in one hand. So you use that, and it was that and a broken hockey stick. I think, me and my brother would fight. So he would fight with the staff, and I would fight with the broken axe handle, and we'd all the time. Never really managed to hurt ourselves really at all, but that kind of transitioned into not really having this feeling of I'm not going to get hurt. And then I transitioned into fighting with Bokens, with Scott, and we got to the point where we were fighting that we hit ourselves and wrapped knuckles and wrists and forearms and things so many times that it got to the point where we were actually looking to try and find gloves that would work. Specifically, we're only looking in the martial arts world, unfortunately. We didn't know about we didn't really know about lacrosse gloves. That's what we use now. But we got to the point where we actually had to stop because we were going so hard and going so fast that it was to the point where if we would have hit each other, and at this point we'd be breaking bones. So we moved to that. We stopped doing things specifically for that. Now, getting into this, we see on a very regular basis some really nasty bruises that happen even when we're wearing gear, and so I could only imagine how bad those bruises and the damage would be if we weren't wearing gear. And so I think that safety is huge, but wearing gear also provides us affords us the opportunity to actually fight at full speed, and that's another big advantage to safety gear is not having is you still want to be careful because you obviously don't want to hurt your opponent while you're sparring, but it allows you to be to let yourself go and to give yourself that commitment to that strike and give yourself that commitment to those blocks and making sure that you're actually moving properly, because that's a really good way of knowing if you're training properly is when you actually get to the point where your body has to react if you are actually reacting, and that's a big thing for us as well. And I think that I've posted a couple of pictures of some of the welts and bruises that we get, and those things they happen. Most of the guys wear those bruises as badges of honor. Most of them are strikes on the forearm and wrist normally. That's where we get them now. It's the only place I think that we actually get hit on a regular basis that isn't covered in gear. And so we have that happens on a regular basis. I've actually started wearing Shock Doctor football pads it's just like a slip-on tension piece that just wraps around and has just a pad, and it's just designed to protect yourself. And everybody's like, I want to buy those. And I'm like, yeah, they're online. They're $15 a piece. Have at her. But and it allows people that functionality and to be able to not have to worry about getting hurt is a big thing. But yeah, safety is huge. We've got to the point where you can't get hurt anymore. It really affects your life outside of sabering if you get hurt, and you can get hurt pretty badly.
To add on to that, currently I'm out of competition with an injury. I actually tore my hamstring doing saber-related activities. I have MRIs scheduled for next week. So yeah, like things happen, and sometimes you just get hurt. But the best thing to do is kind of prepare as much as you can beforehand so that you don't. For example, like a lot of times when we're doing stage shows and we want to have like a lot of force effects, or we want to have a lot of falls and stuff, it's really a good idea to get a pair of like Nike combat shorts or something like padded football shorts underneath, so that when you're taking your falls and you're taking your repetitive actions, you don't end up tearing your hamstring.
Cool. For me, it was actually Masters Anonymous and Bornock personally who kind of introduced me to sparring with gear on. Really, up until then, with an LED lightsaber and taking this more or less seriously at that point. Now I take it seriously, but I was fighting a then 3-year-old, now a 4-year-old. So a lot of Soreisu was happening. Actually, it was all Soreisu. And yeah, it's not really too much to block a 4-year-old swing. So didn't really mind too much gear. I wasn't going to worry about hitting my son's hands because, well, I'm not going to swing at him. So gear wasn't really that interesting to me. But I saw the Saber Fit Challenge episode. saw everybody gear up, and I thought, I'm going to get some gear, and we'll give that a shot. So I actually went down to Ann Arbor, Michigan, Terra Prime Central, and under the Death Star, with full gear on, Anonymous and I squared off against each other. Again, I admit that I didn't even hit him, and I didn't even see half of the shots that hit me. These are glowing blades. We know this. I didn't see it. It was just, wow. So, from that point on, I was absolutely hooked, but it wasn't until what Master Bornock did for me, where he put his 3-weapon mask on, told me to hit him in the side of the head. So, yeah, gave him a tap. He goes, harder. Harder. I was like, oh my god. Harder. That's okay, I have to actually, inside my brain, turn off the safety flags that make me not swing any harder than this for fear of actually physically injuring somebody. And then, he goes, good. That's the exact tone I could possibly copy. Was good. Like, okay, I swung to kill, more or less. I would have killed anybody that I know. Would have killed me if it hit me. Nothing. Just clack right off the 3-weapon mask. And I thought, this is it. So I actually got a couple blocks in the next time I went up against Anonymous. Still didn't hit him, but from then on, literally, I will not duel without gear on. It's not an intelligent move. Fingers, everything. Just, you're absolutely right. Get gear. If you're going to do this stuff, for me, it's not a choice anymore. It's gear or nothing, because it's just so much fun. Watch all your forms bleed away into, okay, kill or be killed. Saber hilt is shaking in my hands while Anonymous is just standing there in the crate's horn. It's like, okay, what do you do? Anyways, that's my experience with gear, and yeah, Master Lucian, I would say that there would be no way there would be any gearing if we started up a club here. No way without gear.
So I guess sorry about that. Another question, so we can segue into a different topic. For you guys, what do you guys feel your greatest obstacle to overcome has been while with the LX program?
Finding the time and space, and really, there's never any lack of interest. But yeah, it's just can't really do it outside. All of my sabers are really loud. I could solve that, but yeah, it's really just time and space for me.
Yeah, same for me. I echo Eric's issues. Like, I have space right by a picnic area, but it's currently being renovated right now. So the only place that I can practice is actually in my garage. Well, my garage is a very, very low ceiling. So I have a lot of issues. Like, for example, I just started doing Ataru stuff, and I keep on hitting the my lights in the garage. In fact, I was doing something very, very slow. I was doing one of the Suma techniques really slow, and I wasn't watching where I was going, and I actually displaced 2 of my fluorescent light bulbs. I smashed them in half, like without much effort. It was just bam. So yeah, space is definitely an issue. Well, it's not just space, but it's also, you know, finding time and also finding a place that's decently lighted so that you can, you know, record decently.
Can I make a recommendation for anybody who wants to work on their Ataru? Most gymnastics academies have open mat time, and for a small fee, $5, $10, allow you to come in and work out in the gymnastics facility. Gymnastics have floor exercise mats that are spring floors, so it takes pretty much all of the impact out of falls and anything kind of mess up. A lot of my friends that do parkour and stuff, that's where they train as well. So it allows you to kind of feel like, yeah, I can go for a butterfly kick. Like, I'm not going to kill myself. And it allows you to, in a safe way, kind of learn and work on those techniques. So says the guy with the ripped hamstring.
Open swim, open mat. That's really cool. I didn't know that.
For me, my biggest challenge is is time, but mostly because I've filled my life with so much other stuff. I outside of work, I also have a company that I build sabers, and I sell them to people. So I have to balance my time between building custom sabers, actually working on my saber technique, and then I'm on two soccer teams, and so I have to balance my life in that sense. But I mean, I get together and I do as much work as I can. I do spend a bunch of time um, making sure that I am kind of applying my techniques, even if it's in small doses, 5-10 minutes at a time, to make sure that I actually get together, get my mind and the things that I'm thinking about together. So for me, I think that in my size. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3" and I'm just over 300 pounds. So I'm trying to bring myself down, and I'm using this to help with my weight loss. And it's helped a lot, and it gives me dedication and forward momentum on and in a visible progression in my ability, because there are some things that I can do now that I could not do 6-8 months ago, mostly because of my size. So that's definitely a big difference for me.
For me, my biggest obstacle with the Terra Prime system is that right about the time the Learn in Exiles program started is when I injured my leg. So I've been like at a snail's pace for quite a while. My original interest was in the Taro and Dejemso, but now with my leg being kind of injured, suddenly I have to pull back, and it's all kind of like defensive Makashi old Ben style, because I don't have maneuverability. A lunge is a lunge, and a lunge is a thing I can't do right now. My right leg is pretty mangled at the moment, so I've been working a lot on kind of tighter wrist combat motions and defensive techniques to kind of offset that, just so I don't get too rusty while my leg heals up. But pushing myself a little too hard caused myself some injuries, and so now I have to slow stuff down and kind of reevaluate before I can move forward as fast as I would like to with the Terra Prime program.
Cool. Okay. Got about I'd say about 14-15 minutes left. I think we'll give a couple of extra minutes there, just because of the yeah. There's a reason why I'm an apprentice and not a master here. We'll evidence that in the two-part special today. Anyway. But anyways, guys, it's okay. I wouldn't mind going on to the short-term and long-term goals with the LX apprenticeship program. This, I don't know, might help us out, inspire new members to come to us, and maybe they have these goals too, and are just wondering how to get started. So, does anybody want to share their short-term and long-term goals with the LX program?
Sure, I'll hop on it. So my short-term goals is to kind of rehabilitate and start learning some more of the more advanced TLP interpretations. Things like, Vornak just posted his Dejemso duel on. By the way, Dejemso or Gemso? What is everybody's opinion on that?
Gem. Silent D.
Like Django Unchained.
Yeah, like Django Unchained. Yeah, same thing.
All right. And then my long-term goal is to get certified as an instructor, so that I have the ability to teach the Saber combat system as well as the TLP system. And then I can kind of work it all into what we do down here, so that we can, if we want to do sparring, we can do sparring under Terra Prime. If we want to do choreography, we can do that in the Saber Combat with Lucasfilm, and kind of get everything organized so that we all have the best way of doing each individual activity.
I'll jump in. Short term, I really want to. I'm kind of time limited right now because I've got something coming up that's going to eat away at my time in the next month. So I want to try to get through as much of the basics up to Ataru as I can. Um, Long term, one of the things I really like about the TPLA program, and especially the Learners in Exile program, is the way that the curriculum so far has been constructed. It comes from, it's based off of ideas from people of very different backgrounds. And here you can see it's just how nice that, some of the foundations are, of all these different people's backgrounds are pretty similar. So you have a pretty solid foundation based off of all these people, all the contributors' experiences, and then going forward, it's a very the way I understand TPLA's kind of objectives is it's kind of a evolving thing where the more people and the more people's backgrounds can add to the program, the richer the experience, and the richer the repository of knowledge that anybody can tap into. So my hope is that at a certain point I can help with that and also encourage other people to contribute from their own backgrounds. So that's my long-term goal.
Excellent. Yeah, I keep forgetting I mute my mic here, so it's my backyard's kind of loud tonight. Thanks, man. And excellent.
I'll go next. My short-term goals are to kind of get a more of a handle on the beginning 4 forms. I understand Shicho fairly well. I've been instructing it for, I guess, 6 months now. But to really get a good, strong basis in the Makashi Surisu Nataru, and then to test for my Knight, which is going to be probably about a year out from now, and then in long-term goals to be able to instruct it. So to get to once I'm a Knight, to be able to actually really instruct up here and be able to test people up here and help them grow their system at a wider base. Since we have the base here and the people who want to learn, to be able to instruct them and teach them the system.
Cool. Thanks, man. Okay. I guess I'll go next. So my short-term goals are really to increase control with my saber, because I don't have a martial arts background. Well, I look like a non-martial arts backgrounder coming into the game, seemingly late. So just a little bit more control, grace. I could use some of that. I'm a little out of shape in practice, but well, just like you said, Dave, I've noticed, I know my saber is the one I normally use is about 2 pounds, and like, really, wow, I'm a sedentary person. But after even just starting swinging the saber around, you're right. Fitness, definitely a short-term goal. Could be a long-term goal too. Kind of liking where that's going. And my short-term goals with the program as well is to get a better understanding of the fundamentals of martial arts. I always loved lightsabers. I'm a Wikipedia junkie, but I don't have the martial arts fundamentals. Footwork is new to me. Breathing I got from music, but yeah, just when instruction was given about the footwork, I noticed everything just kind of opened up right there. It's like, okay, the swing got stronger, and they were right. They almost half of the strength with twice the effectiveness. What? Martial arts is almost like a contradiction to everyday life. It is my short-term goal to start understanding that a bit better. Long-term goals? Well, Gabe's 4 right now. He's my son. He'll be 5 in October, and when he's around, hopefully 6 or 7, it would be a long-term goal of mine to maybe start something serious like kendo, just because I love basically Japanese weapons too. There was one weapon I needed that was actually real that I would just. What's the one weapon you could have? Yeah, katana, no problem, easy. So kendo is definitely on the plate for me, and I'm hoping that the LX program can sort of, I don't know, play into this and hopefully eventually get the best of both worlds there. Also, another goal that I have with the program is to be a mentor to other apprentices, especially as we do move up within the ranks. Just kind of be a peer mentor, someone. We always had study groups in college and university and stuff like that, so well, why not here? I do have I taught at a community college here in London for 6 years, so I did a lot of content administration and especially well, for the school stuff. But a long-term goal I'd have as well is to be a content administrator and help out with the video production and learning materials. Because I kind of turns out I like to stand in front of cameras for some reason. I never thought I was one of those people. But I don't know. I'm told that they like that, so I'll do it. So if I could help out in any way possible, that's also my goal with TPLA, but as a support staff member, not necessarily as a full instructor. Wouldn't mind getting instructorship and be able to do that, but my strength lies with supporting the system, and it's also why I actually volunteered to host the show tonight due to the potential cancellation. No way! Show must go on. So that's those are my long-term goals with the program, and so far it's just been a slow but steady climb, and I don't know, things get easier and new things open up, and that's all back to square one. It's hard again, so and then you just keep climbing. So yeah, so that's it's got to keep going, huh? What was it? Practice, patience, and perseverance. That's on the end of a lot of TPLA videos. That's definitely good advice. So, we're kind of winding down here. Did anybody else post? Anybody post online or anything like that? Looks like everything's been kind of quiet.
All right, Lucian's goals. He's got to go over his too.
Yeah, I didn't go over mine, I guess. Dave called me out, threw me under the bus.
Sorry.
So
I'm all about the bus throwing.
So my short term goals with Terra Prime for now are just to start getting videos back out. I haven't posted a video, I think, in almost a year. Haven't gotten anything out. Haven't really been doing much. I've been doing a lot of. I've actually been doing a lot of practicing, but I haven't been getting any. I haven't been getting any material out. I haven't been getting any filming out, and I've just kind of grown complacent and actually, contributing to the community. So my short-term goals are just to get out of my rut here and just start actually getting some stuff out. As far as long-term goals go, my long-term goals are just to keep bringing things to the community that make people say, "Wow." Is just to keep showing different approaches and different aspects of things, and kind of my hook into this is the tactical approach to lightsaber combat. And so, because of that, I tend to have some unique views on things, and I enjoy bringing those to the table. So, long term is just to keep that going and never let that be something that I lose sight of.
Excellent.
So, do you want to elaborate, kind of, for the people who might be new, what exactly is your area of expertise as far as the TLP masters, and like what you'll help everybody learn?
Certainly. I'm currently I'm a knight with the TPLA program, and my background is military. I was with the Marine Corps for 4 years. I was with Special Forces. I have certain specialized training that just helps with approaches on martial areas. And so some of the things that I think a lot of the people who have done, like training sessions with me via Google Plus or Skype, would say is that I make it easy to kind of dumb down certain concepts to bring it to people who've never heard of these concepts. And so a lot of times we watch these martial arts movies and we see the Mr. Miyagi's and we see these like wise old sages say, "Oh, young grasshopper, you must snatch the pebble from my palm and then you are ready." And so instead of taking that approach, I'd rather relate what you're trying to do to something that you do every day. Because if I can relate something that you're struggling with to something that you're doing every day, then you're going to immediately get it. And if you can get it, then you can move past that obstacle, and you can finally start to progress where you want to get, and you can reach your goals. So a lot of what I'm about with TPLA is helping people reach their goals, and doing it in a way that maybe people haven't thought of before.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Cool. Well, we have just a couple minutes left. When we join the show, it'll probably be under an hour. Again, an apprentice move there. Sorry, Master. But does anybody have any advice for those who would want to join the LX program and how to get started and words of wisdom? I got an idea. Let's just go down the list. I hope everybody's the panel's all the same for all of us. But Dave, did you want to start?
Sure. Yeah, I can go. The best advice for that I can give people if they want to get involved in the program is to start with the videos on the YouTube page and kind of learn that. And truthfully, if you don't have the money to buy a saber right now, or you're not looking to buy a saber for a while, but you want to get involved in the program, grab a broom handle and start using that. I mean, anything can work as long as you're working on making sure that your body positioning is good and your footwork is good. That's the best thing you can do. Focus on footwork. Footwork is huge. Spend 10 minutes every time you practicing footwork. To start with 5 and end with 5, making sure that you're practicing properly, because it will save many an injury. And then work your way through the videos and then contact the masters and talk to them about getting a trial.
Cool. Excellent. So my advice to those who want to join, that's it's easy to join. It's not as hard as you think. There's really no cause for frustration. You work at your own pace and you're guided positively. You have nothing to lose, but nothing really. It's just a lot of fun. That's why I keep doing it, because it just gets more and more fun as I get something or something. So that's just from my perspective. But it's not as intimidating as it seems. You might be stepping into the world of martial arts, and that can be intimidating. It was kind of at first, but after a while, when you realize you're working at your own pace and you're fighting with a fantasy weapon, it's not so intimidating after all, guys. And it's the environment that the masters provide us. It's so welcoming. You don't have to really. You will not be insulted. That's the thing. You will get constructive criticism. If you want to join just to see what constructive criticism looks like, join us. I mean, that's awesome.
All right. So my recommendation is kind of echoing what everybody else says. Just get started. Just do it. Just try it. If you have some friends and you want to kind of start like a local chapter, if you want to get together with some friends and work on it together, like that's always good. Having more people working out together is always a good way to push yourself, but it's in no way a requirement. Master Anonymous has posted all of those dual-ons. In essence, what would be like a kata in a Japanese martial art. Single-person forms that help you work on your technique and your body positioning. And like Dave said, like a broom handle, a shinai, a boken, a mop, anything that you guys can find, just all that you need is a stick. As overpriced as, like, for example, my little Vader Vault Dark Fury is, it lights up, yay! But all that you really need is any sort of lever to work on this stuff. The basic concepts are all the same, whether it's a broadsword or it's an eskrime. Like all of it kind of comes back to the same basic motions. Like Anonymous always talks about. Like there's only so much stuff the human body can do. So just pick up a stick watch some of the videos, and then just try it and just practice it. And when you start to get kind of comfortable with your body positioning, and you start to feel like you're starting to understand it, and then find a partner, start participating in the Google Hangouts, and work on improving it from there. But just get started. It's always best to just kind of just dive right in the pool. There's no harm come from just diving right in.
Probably one of my biggest reasons for people to join definitely echoes what everyone else is saying, but in essence, one of the biggest complaints that I hear online and just through people that I talk to is that there's no one around me who does this. There's no one around me who plays with lightsabers. There's nobody around me who is in the same hobby. To which I say there are, but you don't know them yet. And what the Apprentice program will allow you to do is it'll allow you to gain the confidence that you need to go out and succeed. A lot of people, one of the things I hear is that I don't want to go out and practice in public because I'll look goofy, probably get made fun of. And there are people out there who, no matter what you're gonna do, even people kind of look at me funny whenever I'm out and I'm practicing and I'm going through my stuff. But in the same respect, I can't go out and not have 5 people talk to me about my lightsaber and want to kind of be interested. And when they hear that I teach lightsaber combat, they're blown away and they're like, "When do you do this?" So you'll attract people just by being out and being knowledgeable and being friendly. So the LX program not only gives you a solid base to spring from to learn, but it also gives you the confidence to go out and attract others to this fantastic hobby.
Right. Thanks again, Master Lucien. And again, last but not least, sorry, Rick. What advice would you have for the LX apprentices? Apprentice.
Rick, we don't have audio on you, buddy.
I got it. Yeah. All right.
Yep, you're good, man.
So, kind of echoing what Dan said, yeah, you might not think that there's like you're in like a no man's land where there are no Star Wars fans who want to play with you, but there are lots of Star Wars fans out there, believe it or not. They're just waiting to have somebody show themselves out in the public so that they can do it too. One of the nice things about the way that TPLA was set up was that Star Wars really is like a common language for a lot of people, and through Star Wars, it's a pathway to having a lot of fun with swinging a glow stick. The other thing is that yeah, definitely jump in, don't hesitate, and just go to the TPLA website and look at all the information. Most importantly, though, is don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush. Just take your time going through the stuff and making sure you understand it. It's not just from an understanding standpoint, but also for your own safety too. Because there are some things that more advanced stuff that you probably would not be prepared for if you started on the first day. You probably get hurt a lot. So just take your time. Nobody's rushing you, except for yourself.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Rick. So, well, I think that's about all the time we have for the week. So, again, standing in for Masters Anonymous and Vornok, I am E-Rock. And again, thanks a lot for coming again, Dave. And, of course, Frank. Master Lucien, always great to have you here. And Rick, thank you so much for joining us. Technically, you were on time because you had joined us in part 2 of today's episode, which will eventually be merged into a full hour-long episode like now. So, again, on behalf of Terra Prime Live, this is E-Rock signing off. May the Force be with you, and may the 4th be with you. Happy Independence Day, guys. Cheers. We'll see you next week. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard on the YouTube channel. Cheers, guys. Thanks again. Have a good weekend.